Deciding whether to keep your home listed or take it off the market is a tough call. Market conditions, buyer feedback, and life in general play a major role. Here to share how to make the most sober decision is our friend Kevin Richter, top producing realtor for Richter & Company. Good to have you back.
Hi, Layla. Good to be back.
This is a really good topic because I can speak from personal experience when shopping for a home. I would see homes that were on the market for like 300 days. Because the owner wouldn't go down a single penny. You know, they knew their price, they didn't want to budge. But when do you come to that decision where, should I just leave it on the market for another 300 days or delist it?
That's a great question. So what we see, we get a lot of calls like from that previous agent, or not the previous agent, but the seller who's just fired that guy and said, I've had enough.
Yeah.
And I think it really just comes down to like what your motivating factors are for selling the house. Like if you don't have something like new job or family relocation, something like that, you might say, okay, Jim, the real estate agent, we're gonna give you another 300 days, but you better do a better job this time.
Right.
But if they have to go and they're like getting behind, it just kind of depends on the motivation for that seller.
What are we seeing currently in the market, kind of an average number of days on the market?
Average days on the market as of this morning is like 43 days. That's going to vary depending on where you are. If you're in Mount Pleasant, if you're in Somerville, downtown proper, it does vary, but an average of the Tri-County areas is 43 days.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's just different. I would say it's pretty average. It's still less nationally compared to like homes that are a little more stagnant, like say Florida and a couple of other places that are seeing a lot more time on the market. But 43 days is pretty par for what we're seeing as well with our clients and contracts. Some of them go really quick.
Right.
Price, condition, location, those are the big three. If it's priced well, and it's presented well, you've got a great company representing your interests, then those kinds of things can really help the home sell a lot quicker.
What can people do if they don't want their homes to be on the market for, 43 plus days? So
okay, yeah. So I think what we're seeing a lot of, right now is people down the street sold their house at the top of the market in one day, and they're comparing their home to that home sale 4 months ago. It's still in the market analysis, but the market's changed significantly. So there's a lot more inventory. We're at like a little over 5,000 total units in all of the Tri-County areas, and there's a lot more options with higher interest rates. We're going to see, my prediction is we're going to see something change dramatically as they continue to come down. The Fed has already stated that they're going to come down in September, and they've already dropped into the 5s, which everybody's super excited about.
Yeah, in fact, we talked about that earlier this week, that the Fed, they held steady back in July, but they are predicting that they are going to lower interest rates in September. So we should start to see maybe more people applying for mortgages.
I do think that that's what's going to take place. So what I predict is right now we're in this like sweet spot for buyers because there's not a ton of competition. So that's why sellers are sitting on the market a little bit longer. Okay. So if you are able to buy, this is a really great time because your competition is sparse. Now the rates drop in a percent or two even. We're going to see everybody who has been staying in those terrible relationships to hold on to that 2% interest rate start to flood the market with inventory and get back onto the buyer side. So then I anticipate that we're going to see multiple offers again. We're going to see people who are ready, able, and willing to purchase that can afford a little more house at that lower interest rate. Yeah,
I just want to dive in for just a second what you just said, because I guess a lot of people have been staying in bad, toxic relationships just to hold on to their low interest rate until the markets do shift. So we're going to see maybe more listings happening both on the housing side as well as on Tinder.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. So what feedback have you been getting from both sellers and buyers? And do you think that maybe by year's end we are going to see more houses appear on the market and quickly, within maybe 43 or less days, get sold?
Yeah, I do anticipate that we're going to see more inventory come in based on the tender matches, because they're going to want to find a new place to live together.
Indeed, yes.
But also, we don't really have the 4 traditional seasons like most markets. Charleston is pretty well insulated. We have a really nice year-round climate for purchases.
Yeah.
So I do think we're going to have more homes hit the market, but I think we're going to see a lot more sell. So we're going to get back to a more healthy side and potentially even move over back to a seller's market from a buyer's market where we are currently.
Very interesting. The buyer's market didn't last too long, though. Not here.
Well, they're selling for like 97% on average
Okay.
in Charleston over the last 6 months. So what we're seeing is, this is a conversation I think we had a few weeks ago.
That's right, yeah.
Concerning people having all this equity in their houses. So what we're seeing currently is like a trend in our market is people are willing to take a little bit less than full asking price and
Yeah.
contribute to closing costs to help people buy down that interest rate and make it more affordable to purchase.
Yeah, good analysis. And I know that, you have to kind of reevaluate your goals, and you have to take in, things that you hear from both your agent who's representing you, potential buyers, make the right choice, but always consult with a professional.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having me. Hi, Mom.
We're back in 2 minutes.